Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Bet $5. Get 150 in bonus bets when you use the promo code Leading Off at Bet365. It's me, Joey P. That's the Welsh. And it's you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. And we are very excited today because, Welsh, we did it again. And when I say we, I mean all of you, really. At the end of the day, we're just the facilitators. We're the window dressing. You guys are the YouTube channel. And you did it. 20,000 subscribers. Let's go, baby. Very excited about this. We hit the 20K on Friday after the show. Welsh, what a time to be alive. This is exciting. And we've got another special brand of stupidity coming for our audience because we are men of our word and we are pretty dumb at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a secret we want to keep the whole thing. We can, but yeah, we hit it. I remember. Yeah. I don't remember what the number was. I want to say it was like 12 or something about when I came about. Maybe it was even less. I'm not sure. Maybe it was under 10, but 20K is huge. It is literally thanks to you. You guys literally subscribed, but it is pushing baseball more and more, which we want. You guys are awesome. And Joe and I will make absolute asses of ourselves in the very near future, as in the plan on Friday. So Friday is going to be, in theory, a pretty big show.
Yes. Make sure you tune in live on Friday. You're not going to want to miss this. We have some big plans going on for Friday and the theme of the show.
Ooh, yeah.
Thanks to all of you. Oh, yeah, we do. Ooh, yeah, we got lots of plans. Yeah, it's going to be a show. You don't want to miss it for sure. Yeah. So let's get to some other things you don't want to miss too, because besides 20K, unfortunately, Trey Turner, he's going to be out 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, which is a bit of a bummer because he was like a much better start to the season than he did last year. So now it becomes, how do you approach this? Because not a lot there on the waiver wire at the position to get super excited about. If Junior Camargo, however, comes up and he's still available in your league, he qualifies at shortstop. Well, that would be where I'd be looking for the 6 weeks. But where are you looking for the 1 to 2 week range as you're trying to figure out how to replace Turner in your lineup? Because it's tough.
Well, someone tweeted us this interesting article, Tampa Bay Tribune, I think it was, and it was another cold water situation being put on Junior Camargo and the whole Rays situation. And I've continuously kind of broken it down. They could easily get him in at DH if they wanted right now. They're not, and maybe that's due to some playing time things, and maybe. The only thing I haven't done, and I'm probably not going to be able to do here properly, but I should have looked and seen what the current game log looks like for Junior Camargo. Has it been solely third base? Has it been a lot of shortstop? Because it might be one of those situations where they're going to want to continue working at a certain spot before we're actually going to be able to get Junior Camargo up here. So back to your question of, where are you going with it? It's probably not going to be in the Philly side. I wanted to say a guy like Zach Neto started kind of bouncing back up. He's had a good couple weeks. Maybe that's somebody that you can go and bounce to. But interestingly, all these prospects that we're getting up, none of them are really in the space of infielders. It's like first basemen and outfielders through and through. And we're going to talk about the biggest one today. So Zach Neto might be one, but unfortunately, Trey Turner's the type of guy you just aren't going to find the proper replacement for. You're going to have to go out of position to make up probably most of those stolen bases. By the way, I did it that whole time. Camargo has not played a single game at shortstop this year. It has been 100%
in a lot of leagues at third and
no, he'll qualify, but he is only third base in the minors so far this year. Only thing I was bringing that up is that theory of like, would they kick Caballero to the curb so Camargo could play some shortstop? It doesn't look like it. So this would have to be a Paredes goes to DH or him and Camargo and Paredes.
Love that movie. Back and forth. It's one of my favorite 80s films. Paredes goes to DH. Oh, it's such a classic. I think John Candy was in that. Paredes goes to DH. I'm just looking around the waiver wire right now. Miguel Rojas, the Dodgers, last 15 days has been pretty good. Rocchio. Like it's tough out there in the streets right now. Like I'm just saying, like it's not the best situation.
You have to make some moves. You're gonna have to make some moves here in the very near future. Trade video coming out in the next 24 hours for some of those trades.
All right, you kind of teased it, so let's get to it. The Guardians are going to promote Kyle Manzardo from AAA. Today is the day, y'all. 303, 375, 642 / 9 dingers, 20 ribbies in 29 games. So expectations, I picked him up are high. I picked him up in our Fantasy Pros ESPN league, so I'm excited to stash him on my bench. There's like a 2-player bench on there, so you don't have a lot of space. So I had to drop James Wood for him, but you know what? Manzardo's up now. I think that's a move I make. So expectations for Manzardo going through here. We talked about maybe him playing some first, DHing a little bit. Him and Nair are kind of going back and forth on that role. Do you think that's going to be the case?
Yeah, it is the Manzalorian time because this is the way for Kyle Manzardo with an under 20% K percentage in the minors, which I think was huge as his strikeout rate started to rise a little bit last year. He'd always been a really low strikeout guy, and I think people forgot that. But with the K rate coming up and the batting average sinking over that last year, everyone forgot how good he was. AFL, he comes out here, reestablishes. Go back and listen to my interview with him. You want to hear like this really smart, intuitive guy that he is on my Prospect One podcast. And, you can hear him talk about, his approach to hitting and how those adjustments and things he didn't work on last year with the Rays, how those things change going into the fall league, where he started hitting the ball for average again, did all his things, and it's translated, all of that, blah, blah, blah. It translates into this year of him hitting over 300, super low strikeout rate, an 11% walk rate, 9 homers destroyed. And now you have a situation where the outfielder hits the IL and Quan. They've been putting, which is like ridiculous. They've been putting Estevan Florial and Will Brennan at that DH spot. Well, now those guys, plus David Fry apparently, are all going to work on the outfield. So this should be Kyle Manzardo playing, I assume, almost every day at DH. I think that's where they're going to start, maybe a day or two flip with Josh Naylor. So he is going to struggle a little bit if the team is looking for more flexibility. That'll be a problem. But, he has the blueprint of what the Guardians want. Low strikeouts, high walks, and the thing that not a ton of them do, big power. So I think this is a guy that could absolutely crush some homers. I'd love to see him bat higher in the lineup. I'm not having full expectations of it, but I am maybe a bit more optimistic than most on Kyle Manzardo. So yeah, he's kind of a must pick up. And, I'm taking him over Heston Kjerstad, who, had been put into that platoony role. That type of guy, maybe Joey Luperfido, like those players I want Manzardo over.
The Luperfido thing drives me a little crazy, I gotta say. Like, I mean, I know Singleton's been hitting, but still, I think that's probably the only reason. If Singleton has been struggling here in the last week, I could see, you give him a shot, I get it. But man, like, what are we doing here? Like, let's move to the future a little bit. Because the Astros are a team that did lose those draft picks, and at some point in time, that's going to come to fruition in this organization, right? You got players who are older. Yeah, you got Alvarez here, you got Tucker, but you need the Luperfidos to get acclimated to the major league level. You need these young guys to hit, like literally and figuratively here, if you're the Astros. So not giving him playing time and bringing him up, it's like, what are we doing here? Why'd you bother doing that if you're not going to get him in there every single day? I just don't get it. But
yeah, I mean, the rookie platoons are pretty difficult, I think. Like that's like Kjerstad, like bringing Kjerstad up and then only having him hit in a platoon. That can be difficult. That's actually one of the reasons why so many of these guys, when they struggle or when a guy comes back that they were replacing, the team is like, yeah, this guy's good enough to be a major leaguer, but they got to go down to play every single day. I don't think it's advantageous for a lot of rookies to be doing really any sitting early on. And I'm hoping the Guardians are going to be aggressive. But we've also seen just a massive onslaught of lack of production. We'd call it like Bat X victory lapping of rookies stinking. So, I don't blame
Cheero's been down. I mean, it's somebody's going to break the cycle. It's going to be Paul Skeens. That's going to come in there. He's going to just blow the doors off anybody. Old man Imanaga, so far the old rookie, he's been the best rookie. Let's just call it what it is. He's been the best rookie. I don't want to hear any other nonsense. Luis Ariz got traded. So the Marlins are like, what's today? May? We're out of it. We're out of it. It's over. Just gonna throw our hands up. What an organization the Marlins are. And it's funny, this was a team last year that played well. This is a team last year that competed. It's just, you throw your hands up, I guess, at the end of the day. So Ariz is now going to be the leadoff guy. So that's a good situation. He's going to a better lineup. The guys hitting behind him are much better. It's not going to change the perspective all that much. The run total will be higher. The RBI total will still be low. The batting average will still be always what it is, which is high, above 300. But is there a false sense in the market now of Ariz being worth more than he is because of this trade to San Diego? And also, I want to get your take on some of the prospects that move back too, because you are the prospect guy.
And I know all these prospects because it was with the Padres. first off, yes, I
Like,
completely
you know them
agree with
personally?
you.
Like, you hang out with them, kind of know them, or like
No, not like personal. I mean, I've like
yeah,
hung around some of them,
you
you know,
hang around a
friendly
little
and
bit
stuff like that,
after
just
hours
hanging out.
clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm too old. Like, can you imagine like
I think
hanging
they're
out?
too old. These guys just go back to their hotel rooms and play video games now. It's
Yeah.
not the 80s anymore. Like,
That's
it's not
true.
really-
It's actually very funny. Like the Padres facility too. They've got like these like not hotels, but like apartments and stuff that are right
Mhm.
next to it. And all these guys stay there. So they like have like their little like electric bikes and they just cruise around the facility and you see them going through the parking lot. And then there'll be like one guy with, that, baller car that like 7 of them jump into. Like it's just a weird space.
That would
But
be a funny idea for a TV show, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Almost
what,
like an
like
Eastbound and
prospects?
Down kind of show. No, like an older player who is like making his comeback and he's like trying to interact with all these young guys
Oh
who like
yeah.
don't go out or anything, or they're
Yeah.
afraid
Jose
to.
Abreu,
Yeah.
36-year-old hanging out with like 22-year-olds and he had all
Yeah,
the
but
money.
like they all have social anxiety and they don't want to go outside. They just want to play Madden and he wants to go out and, you know,
Oh
go
yeah,
roam
he's
the
trying to
streets
take the
and the
girls.
bars.
Yeah, take them to clubs and
Yeah, like I think
drink.
that
Oh
would be
yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, that
You
was good.
know?
Wasn't that? Didn't Eastbound and Down kind of do that in an
Well, but
season?
kind of like he went to the Mexican League, but that was a whole other kind of weirdness. Like,
Yeah, I like
it,
your idea. I'm
I
in.
think it'd be fun.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Joe, you
I'm
can
in.
play that
Let's
character.
go.
You'll be great at it. But yes,
Good.
false sense of security. I completely agree. Trade video. I am going to talk about Luis Ariz because I do think this is one of those situations you take a perceivably. I mean, he's a better real life player than fantasy. I'm not really sure that's majorly arguable outside of points leagues. But you take Ariz out of that, you put him into the Padres, and there's this excitement. He's leading off. Runs will go up 100%, but he's still not going to hit homers. It's a worse hitter environment. He doesn't steal bases. So I take this false sense of excitement and I want to trade. So yeah, I completely agree with what you were saying about that. On the prospect side, it was a huge trade. Dylan Head was the big main guy on this. He was just drafted, huge speed, kind of a smaller guy that has built into his body into a way that it's like, if this guy starts hitting 15 plus homers, he's the type of guy that can steal 50 plus bases out of Chicago. Very interesting guy. Bat has not picked up, but he's the big core. Jacob Marcy is the other one that I have been just very vocal about for a really long time because he was great in the AFL. I think he's a tooled out outfielder who can hit. He's shown big, massive ability to hit for power, not like massive power, but he's shown the ability to connect and barrel the ball. So I think there's 15 plus homer power in there, and he can steal the crap out of bases. So I loved the Jacob Marcy one. I thought he could break camp with the team. So that was a shock to me. They also got Nathan Martorella, who some have comped to Kyle Manzardo. I don't think it's really there, but he's got some good power. And Woo Suk Go, the reliever, is going to be going over there. So you've got like Wu and Marcy, who are probably the closest major league guys who will get time this season. So keep an eye out for Jacob Marcy now because they're going to probably trade Jazz Chisholm. The rumors are out there. At some point, it's going to happen.
That's a stunning one. Like I'm trying to figure out what that haul looks like for Jazz Chisholm because that's still a very young player with a ton of upside. Like you're gonna have to pay through the nose to get.
It's gonna look a lot bigger than that one, and I got to tell you,
a lot bigger. Oh, I if it doesn't, then the Marlins have failed.
I think the Marlins did a good job. They didn't get any of the big pitching prospects from the Padres, but they got all the hitting prospects from them. So I actually think they did a really good job in this trade.
Chisholm, in your opinion, like what team
pops out? Well, I saw a lot of the fun rumors about the Dodgers would be looking at it, and Miguel Rojas and him would be, right back at it. I think a team like the Mariners would make a lot of sense. They've needed some more outfield help. That would be a guy that can get on the bases a little bit more. That's just one that came to top of mind. Yankee. I mean, I think there's handfuls of winning teams that would want to look into maybe the Phillies. It's just what assets do teams have to give away? I think the Mariners would have assets, but the whole point of that is he's going to be traded at some point, and it may not take the trade. Jacob Marcy will be the guy that gets some time this year, and he's probably got a chance to hit high in the lineup. So I don't know if he's going stash now or if you have NA spots, sure, but keep a lookout for him. And I would pick Marcy up when he becomes available because the speed, the runs, and the batting average will play probably better than the power, but he might be a fantasy dude.
What about the Rays?
Yeah, but the Rays stink. They're awful. Like, what would they? They don't like.
That's why they need to get balls to the offense. I'm just saying.
I just don't know if that would. I don't know if they're looking to make moves.
Hear me out. The Rays think they're awful now. Next year they get Springs and McClanahan back, and all of a sudden this rotation looks like a lot more formidable. And now you've got Camargo, you got Chisholm, you've got Paredes. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is a team now. Like, this is not a deal.
I don't disagree.
Chisholm has a couple of years left on his deal, does he not?
Yeah, we'd have to look at what it. I want to say.
He's a free agent.
No.
Drop us in the chat, Wonky. You know all the answers to these things. Let us know how much time was left for Jazz Chisholm. What's he on the clock? Let's get to the rest of the headlines, though. Great stuff, Welsh, breaking down the prospects there. Muncy, 3 homers this weekend in one game, and Tyler Glasnow, 10 strikeouts for him. Glasnow up at the top, by the way, in this conversation for Cy Young, as I predicted he would be, indeed. John Means, 8 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings, and a win over the Reds. So great start for him. And speaking of returns, Justin Steele is back today. Welsh, are you starting Justin Steele today?
I am. I actually am really tempted to take the strikeout prop on him. It's relatively low. It's just the Padres, they don't strike out a ton. And even, I mean, there's like, I think, God, 7 pitchers all year. It might be a few more that have had 5 or more strikeouts. Like some starting pitchers. They're just not a big strikeout team. Justin Steele has had some really good runs. Either way, it's exciting. I think you can put him out there. It's a tough matchup with a Rise at the top of the lineup. But yeah, I'll put Justin Steele right back out there. I feel less confident about Bueller than I do Justin Steele. I just saw somebody mention we're getting Steele and Bueller back today. Bueller, I don't know. Maybe. Justin Steele, yes.
There you go. Some people have both of them going. There you go. Look at Kyle. Kyle's running against he's like Icarus. He's up there flying right close to the sun. I love it, Kyle. You do you, girl. You do you. All right. Before we get to more ups and downs from the Major League Baseball weekend, don't forget, everybody, we got fun stuff to give away, including a Trophy Smack Fantasy Baseball Championship belt. Hit us up right now on the YouTube channel by following us. 20,000. Come join the party, baby. Comment on any of the videos. And, of course, this Trophy Smack Fantasy Baseball Championship belt can be yours. I love it. Like the cross.
I know a great day to give this away. I know a great day to give that belt away, Joe.
Oh, I do too. I think would be a good day to give it away. I have to check and see how much longer we're running that promotion.
Yeah.
But, could be a great day. Here's some fun stuff. Logan Gilbert, 8 shutout innings. Like, seriously. Please, everybody, listen to me. Just invest in Seattle, okay? This pitching staff is insanely good. Hopefully Kirby's okay, but like this pitching staff is going to be so good, and it's a 162 game season. Please invest in Seattle in your shares and futures. 2024 Major League debut, or should I say 2024 debut for Alek Manoah. Alek Manoah did Alek Manoah things. 7 runs, 6 earned. Good for you. And Jose Caballero stole 4 bases, and that's a pretty impressive thing. It was against the Mets, but whatever. Speaking of the Mets, Christian Scott looked really good in his first outing. 6 strikeouts, 1 run over 6 2/3. He pitched into the 7th inning. I had to do one of those cartoon things where I rubbed my eyeballs and I went, Christian Scott's in the 7th inning. Is this still happening there? And look, it was a terrific outing for him. I don't want to see Tyler McGill. I don't want to see Adrian Hauser, who's already into the bullpen. I don't need to see him anymore. I don't need to see Sean Manaea. I need to see the future if I'm a Mets fan. The future's now. Stop wasting Christian Scott in AAA. Stop wasting Buto. Let these guys just pitch through. Senga's on his way back. Your thoughts on the Christian Scott start?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up some of the StatCast stuff because I think it's interesting. Here we go. But I watched some of the start. He was like 5 innings. And the reason he went so long was because it was like 5 innings in with 50 pitches. I had likened some of his stuff to similar to really actually what you want more from Brandon Pfaadt, because, he'll implement sinker, sweeper. They keep going back and forth. It's kind of it is a splitter. Sometimes they qualify it as a changeup, which is super weird, but he was great. 18 swing and whiffs in this game, 35% CSW, 35% swing and whiff rate. He had 8 whiffs on the fastball, 6 on the sweeper, and 4 on the slider. Sweep just, flies a little bit further down. The splitter did a little bit of setting up. It's so funny thinking about when I said about Logan Gilbert, where it was really good fastballs set up the splitters, and he's just been amazing. And in this case, the splitter was just kind of an offering to keep guys honest, because his fastball was so great, and he was pumping his fastball up high. He showed really elite command, which was great. As we said last week, and I said, this is a great matchup for him to, go up against the Rays, not hitting a lot of homers. And he was efficient. He looked fantastic. I don't know how they justify him not being in the rotation for a little bit longer. He's going to get some more bullets, but the command, the poise, and the efficiency I thought were really, really key. He didn't get rattled. they never really got to him. So I thought the swing and whiffs were great. I think the pitch mix is better. And he really was like everything I expected from when we first saw Brandon Pfaadt in those years of being able to kind of control the different points of the zone. Fastball up, over, sweeper, boom, splitter down. Like it's really, really unique what he does.
Look, impressive first outing. And I know Tampa's struggling offensively, but still impressive. Mason Black will be promoted from AAA to start today against the Phillies. So we'll see how that goes. 1 ERA, 0.9 whip, 29 strikeouts, 8 walks, 26 innings so far. What are your scouting reports about Mason Black? Is this a guy people should be adding or no?
Not against the Phillies. No,
I don't want to start him. I didn't say start. I did say add.
I think you got to wait. I think you got to speculate. What I will say is what he just did in the PCL, you have to acknowledge. Like you putting up a 1 ERA in the PCL and not getting obliterated, that alone is worth paying attention to. But he's a big fastball slider guy. I don't like this matchup. And I'll be honest with you, in my prospect report, I put Carson Wisenhunt, even who is a level lower than him, above him, just because I also think they might want to look at adding some lefties to the rotation at some point. And, that is Carson Wisenhunt, but we'll wait and see. But I do think the PCL numbers are something to pay attention to because that is a usually explosive environment. And he is absolutely dominated here. And he's in a pitcher-friendly place. So that's great, but not this matchup, not against the Phillies overall.
No,
I'm going to, if you want to speculate, put him on the bench.
I mean, Zach Wheeler.
No, I'm betting against him today. I'm betting against Mason Black.
Yeah, me too. Jackson Cheero, 0 for 2. More of the rookie-looky stuff right here. Again, not a great slash. 219, 265, 352, 4 homers, 13 RBI. 6 steals, though. Here's my thing. Striking out too much, 35 strikeouts. That was the thing in 114 plate appearances that you were talking about. Like the strikeout rate with Cheero could be a little bit of a problem early on. Look, he's a green player. He's young. I'd be buying everywhere. I think it's the kind of kid, either one or two things are going to happen. He's either going to pick it up at the major league level, or he gets sent back down, tears the cover off the ball at AAA, comes back, and is good the rest of the season. That's typically what happens, a confidence builder thing. So either of those two outcomes, for Cheero, in my opinion, I'm buying. So I'm good with that. Chase DeLauder, by the way, broken foot, so he's going to miss some time. That was a guy early in the season we were talking about maybe at some point. But, again, Manzardo, it's all about the man-child. 3 up and 3 down. Tariq Skubal, another good outing for him. He is at the top of the board right now for the Cy Young race, folks. Don't look now. He's ahead of Corbin Burns. We're going to do an episode on betting pros, by the way, where I'm going to catch everybody up this week on the futures market. Do that once a month kind of thing. Just kind of set the tone for what's going on with the awards and the futures and the team totals. And spoiler, it's going to be a lot of Seattle stuff in there. But also Anthony Santander, 3 for 4 with a homer, 2 runs scored, 5 ribbies, 11-1 win over the Reds. And then Shohei Ohtani with a 4 for 4 with not 1, but 2 dingers. Shohei is red hot. 3 down. Logan Webb, not so great. 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 hits, not the best, 4 innings of work. So Logan Webb, some down starts. Freddie Peralta, 2 of the last 3 starts been rocky for him. 6 walks. Again, the control issues there for Peralta, which there were none of them in the first 4 or 5 starts. And all of a sudden, the last couple got a little wacky there. And Edouard Julien, you got to just ride the wave. It seems like it's going to be these days. Struck out all 3 times at some point there against the Red Sox. So there you go. As they say, there's going to be some ups and some downs in those spots. I'm sorry, right now I can't quite see the chat. I don't know what's going on there on StreamYard. Something got wacky there. I got an alert, so apologies that I can't bring your comments up.
They're talking. Look at all these things they're saying about Joe. Oh yeah, good. You can't see the chat, Joe. They're just smack talking you right now.
So it's just like normal. Okay, good. Injury news: the Padres put Joe Musgrove on the IL with a right triceps tendonitis. Welsh, you got the good start, the best start of the year for Musgrove, and he's off to the IL. Your thoughts?
Yeah, a little behind the scenes for you. So my trade video,
pull the curtain back.
Pull the curtain back a little bit. I recorded the trade video. I do it on Sundays. I had a whole thing I wrote up about Joe Musgrove and why to sell. And it's not like the huge crazy thing because his stats stink, but it was like, you just got this awesome start. And I was open to the possibility, maybe this is the start of it, but nothing tells you that it was. So I was selling it. And then an hour later, he got put on the IL. So I had to revamp from it and take him off there. But yeah, this is horrific. Everything about this has been it's been a bad start to the year. Last year, so many things, more injuries. I still stand firm to it. If he comes back, I probably am a sell. Like if you have the opportunity to get out once he gets back, I know it's hard beggars being choosers with starting pitchers right now. But if he can return, stack a start or two, I'm moving out on it. But yeah, this is no bueno. This is bad news.
I see your comments, Jake Watkins, because now I'm watching on the YouTube channel. So I see you. That's right. You want to talk smack about me when my back is turned? That's okay. I love you, Jake.
I was actually joking. By the way, I noticed that. Yeah, in our back end, the comment stopped here, but on the YouTube, I can see him going.
I wanted to make sure that everyone could still comment because.
Are they talking smack? I was just making that up, but now
Welsh is a handsome devil. Somebody wanted to know where you got the cream-colored Arizona Diamondbacks hat from.
At the stadium, actually. Both of my Diamondbacks hats, for whatever reason, I only get them when I go to games, and I'm a sucker. My wife, she is so upset with the hats. I actually had to buy one of those things in a closet.
I'm looking at it right here. Penguin rack where she's got like 5,000 hats.
No, but it's a long hanging rack that you can put hats in the closet, and I stack them. I'm gonna have to probably get another one soon. So what I'm waiting for is at some point people used to send me hats. We're gonna just get like more minor league hats sent and stuff like that. And it's going to be like Wonky. Wonky has an impressive. My baseballs is her hats. Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, Welsh is going to be in the shed pretty soon. The Mariners. George Kirby underwent a precautionary MRI on his right knee, so we'll see what that brings us. Evan Phillips hopefully will only have to be the minimum stay on the injured list. Eduardo Rodriguez undergoing additional testing on his lat, so stay tuned for that, folks.
Yeah, they were just testing it. He's, by the way, Eduardo, they said they were just testing, and because he said he was feeling good, and if the things were solid, that he would then go out and start the throwing program, and we would see him pretty soon. And I would probably see him. Arizona Complex League, all complex rookie ball just started on Saturday. I'm going to do a breakdown about it on Prospect One, and I'm going to actually go out later today, and I might be seeing Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto might be pitching in one of these complex games, but Eduardo,
Joe, he's old enough at this point.
Yeah, I know. We're like the same age.
I mean, seriously, Johnny Cueto is like, God, that's like 15 years ago, Johnny.
You know what's great about this show, by the way, this idea of the show is you also have, you know how you have a lot of shows have that like villain of the week. You have to have the storylines. You could have this ever connecting storyline, but you every single week could just have some like special actor come in and they could play a major leaguer that's rehabbing while this guy's trying to get that. You just have, I love your show idea
or things like that.
I have seen producers follow us on Twitter. There's got to be a producer out there.
There's a few of them. I'm sure they'll steal it from us and we'll get nothing out of it. That's good. By the way, Don Shawley is going to set me off. Who are we taking going forward? Pages or J-Rod?
They're trying to pay Haas, by the way.
I don't get no. Pages, Pages. I don't care what we want to call him. No.
Gold jacket, green jacket.
Stop. Who? Seriously, bro, I'm gonna lose it. Pepio, who'd been so good, by the way, he unfortunately left his start yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on.
Hit.
Did we get any update on Pepio?
I haven't seen any update. I was watching some of it live, but he got hit. I think it was like in the leg or the shin.
Yeah, like my guesses were okay here. Like I don't want to lose Pepio. He'd been really, but I'm telling you, next year that Rays rotation, it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty solid. Stephen Kwan to the IL with 10 days for the hamstring. Wyatt Langford is going to be placed in the IL at some point. I see people in the chat have been bitching about this since the show started.
It's going to miss a month. It's brutal.
Why can't everyone just go on the IL when they tell us? Why do we have to wait in fantasy for all these sites to like do? Like it's so frustrating.
We are finally in the space. I will relent because I haven't been. We're in the space in redraft where you could cut Wyatt Langford. You're better suited to put him on the IL and wait for it. No, but seriously.
No, well, now it's the perfect thing. Now this is like the best thing that could happen is the IL stand for him.
Like, yeah, no, it is because if you can put him on the IL, but there's a lot of people that have these like 10 and short, shallow 12-man leagues that are like, should I make this move? Should I make that? Like Langford's been okay. Like all of these rookies have just been okay. In redraft, you can make some of those cuts, but great opportunities in Dynasty across the board for all of these prospect fatigued people.
All right. Grayson Rodriguez threw off flat ground. Garrett Whitlock said he felt good after bullpen session. Christian Javier looks to rejoin the Astros rotation earlier in this week. And as I mentioned before, Kodai Senga live bullpen session Saturday. So there you have it, everybody. Hey, Welsh, you know what time it is? It's Monday. You know what that means?
I do.
It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. Make sure you're making your wagers over on Bet365. Go right now, sign up, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you do, when you use the promo code leading off. That's one word, leading off. It's easy to remember at Bet365. the Welsh. Let's talk about what we got ahead of us today. You and I are both on Cole Reagans, but I want to start here with the Mariners instead. On the money line, minus 126 against the Twinkies here. I love this opportunity. The Mariners, to me, again, this is a team that I'm buying everywhere. The Twins offense right now, you see, Julian striking out a ton yesterday. Buxton's hurt. This is a team that's still waiting for whenever you get Royce Lewis back. That's when the Twinkies will start looking like the Twinkies again. But until then, they're just going to be the Twinkies and not the Twins. So I'm going with the Mariners on the money line. The Phillies, we mentioned before, going against a rookie pitcher. Look, maybe this rookie pitcher has been fantastic. Mason Black's been really good at AAA so far, but he's going up against Zach Wheeler today in Philadelphia, 4:00 in the afternoon. No, thank you. Give me the Phillies on the run line, minus 1.5 here, plus money. I can't believe you're getting plus 108 on this. By the way, actually, let me reset that because I'm wrong. It's not against the A's today. It's against the Giants. Wrong team today for me.
I mean, it's Bay Area. You had the right.
But
you had the right Bay.
No, but it's this is upsetting. See, it's Monday. I had a case of the Mondays today.
We had to get up earlier. I had to get up early.
We talked about this earlier, and we talked about it, and it was the wrong team. And now we're going to say Joe doesn't even know who's playing today.
Oh no!
And that's going to be the YouTube comments. And you're right. I made a mistake. I will own it. It's the Giants today. I put this together at 6:30 in the morning, so my head is a little off. So there you go. Phillies still Zach Wheeler, still on the run line, still against the Giants. Plus money, give it to me. Royals on the run line, minus 1.5 as well. You're getting minus 105. It's a good number against the Brewers. The Brewers, over the last 15 days, Welsh, they have struck out more than any other team except for one. So this lineup right now is big-time struggle bus, which is why I also, for the parlay of the day, like Cole Reagans over 6.5 strikeouts at minus 104. You can then pivot if you want to go really heavy and get a bigger number. You can get the Royals right now on the run line minus 1.5. But if you want to play it a little safer for the parlay, which I think I do, Royals money line minus 142, Cole Reagans over 6.5 strikeouts. You put them together, you get plus 187. And it would be more like 3 or 4 to 1 on the other side, depending on where you're betting it, obviously for the Royals run line with Cole Reagans. But I think the money line is the safer of the two for the parlay. So despite the fact that I confused my Bay Area teams for a moment, it's Monday. You got to shake the dust off the weekend. Welsh, what do you have for the folks for the bets of the day?
I'm on similar stuff. Exactly what you're talking about here. Philly minus 1.5 against the A's or the Giants or combined. It doesn't really matter because this is Zach Wheeler play to me. We talked about Mason Black. He has been awesome. He's dominated the PCL. I actually think that is what is driving a lot of some of the low totals that are kind of, going with this. It's plus money. I think I saw plus 115 for Philly to be up by 1.5. I know losing Trey Turner, it definitely has an effect on this, but I'm backing Zach Wheeler shutting this team down. I really like that. Philly's 8th in scoring in baseball right now. But again, this is a Wheeler versus a rookie pitcher situation. So yes, give me Philly minus 1.5 on the run line. You mentioned Cole Reagans. That's also one of my plays. The strikeout numbers, they're actually a little bit more tantalizing today. There's quite a few that I wanted to do the Justin Steele one. Luis Castillo is interesting against a team that strikes out like crazy, because I'm kind of interested in that. But I'm settling on Cole Reagans. You mentioned on as far as your strikeout stat, he has been putting some good strikeout games together. As far as him being able to get big swing and whiffs, I'm not sure that is going to 100% play in, but it's a good K percentage matchup for him. And then I'm going with the total base play, and there's actually a couple that I like, but the one I'm picking today, Francisco Lindor, total bases 1.5 over. It's plus 115 and maybe better if you're looking around. 352 lifetime average against Kyle Gibson. He has 5 hits over his last 4 games, and 4 of those 5 hits, extra bases. So give me over 1.5 total bases for Francisco Lindor on even money. Yes, please. Those are my bets, and I might drop a few more over the next couple hours.
There you go. You can follow us over at bettingpros.com/Welsh and /Joe to see what we're betting every single day. Download the app for yourself and join our little club, our little group, bettingpros.com/leadingoff. It's free. You don't even have to make bets. You just have to make picks. Have some fun with us. It's a good time. It's a good time at the end of the day. Let's do that. And I apologize. You know what I think? When I was thinking Mason Black, I started to think about Mason Miller in my eternal love for him, and then the Giants became the A's.
I appreciate that you care. I don't care. I say my brain is going a gajillion miles a minute. I've looked at everything all day. So if I mess it up, I'm like, oh, wow, that was dumb, stupid brain of mine. But I'm not going to let it beat me up. I'm not going to let that one go. Oh, Joe, who'd you pick for the home run contest today, Joe? Aaron Judge?
No, it's going to be Ohtani. That's right. Stick it. And that, my friends, is the best bets of the day. Again, download the Betting Pros app. Start betting smarter, not harder, please. And when you make your bets, do it at bet365 with that promo code leading off. Welsh, my home run call of the day is, of course, Shohei Ohtani. That's where I'm going here. I did not get a chance to upload the new board yet, so let me do that while you make your home run call, and then we'll take a look and see what the tail of the tape from the weekend was.
I feel like you should have been obligated to pick an A for your home run call today for that mess up. You should be obligated to pick Shea Langoliers or something like that. I did think about Francisco Lindor. I think that's a good play. Bryce Harper was another that I was just kind of sitting around on, but I ended up settling on Bobby. Making us naked again.
Screw-ups today.
I'm going with Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. He's got a great home run matchup against the pitcher who you've got
started off so well today.
And I'm forgetting who they're facing, but I love Bobby Witt Jr. You completely it was a long weekend. My brain. Milwaukee. That's weekend. What it is. Bryce Wilson.
A lot of stuff going on here, but let's look at the board here. I stripped us away to our bare bones for a split.
Don't make us naked again.
That was very scary there. Oh, here we go. Here's the home run board. I'm hanging on by a thread of 10 still.
I got to 8 this weekend. I got to freaking 8, and I was like, there's a chance I could make the board.
A chance. Nope, not on the board
yet. I can't
yet.
Get on this thing.
Not on the board yet there. So 10 right now for me. Welsh is at 8. So close. But still, the top is still the 13. So look, there's plenty of time in this one. And we're giving away a Vladimir Guerrero autograph bat. Hopefully, Vlad Guerrero. By the way, Vlad Guerrero, your comments on his season so far before we head out?
It's been super underwhelming. Grand Slam this weekend.
I had high expectations for him, though.
Everybody
did the Grand Slam this weekend, but I'm just saying, is that I want something like that to be the thing that spurs him and turns him around. Slow April, we can all kind of handle that. But I feel like the general buzz in the baseball community was, hey, Vlad's in great shape. Vlad was hurt all of last year. This is going to be a return to greatness for Vlad. And it hasn't happened yet.
I think it's there. I think when you look at the underlying side of it, the second highest hard hit percentage of his career currently, highest walk percentage. He's barreling more than any other year except for 2021. Average EV is good. His expected batting average is around 40 points higher ish, right around that spot, 30 points higher than his current. The problem was he was such a projections darling. Yeah. That the expectations were so high. If he ends up hitting 275 and hits 30 homers, that's kind of a disappointment. There'll be some point where the expectations finally kind of temper a little bit, but I think he's still a great buy. He's starting to click. Murdered Mackenzie Gore on that Grand Slam this weekend. So it's a good time to buy once he gets going. Also, his K percentage has gone up while walking. So I think there's putting yourself in some bad counts, which are going to change. Yeah. And we saw some of this last year with the Blue Jays too. Vlad and Bo Bichette getting killed on sliders and stuff like that. I think that's going to adjust. I think he's going to be in a good spot. And he's a pretty good buy right now.
Big, huge shout out to all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. Welsh, I want to say when you came in here, we had 8,000 on the YouTube channel when you first came in.
That number sounds 8. About right. I think it was 8 listen.
When you came in and started doing the show with me, and now it's 22 years later. And all I can say is to everybody, this is the little engine that could. And it's because of all of you who join us live here, the people who are in the Discord, the people who are making home run calls. And if you're just a listener of the show too, because you don't have time, because you're actually, working for a living and doing what you're supposed to be doing instead of watching us, and you're listening back to the podcast or you're watching all the videos, go drop the comments and the reviews, the 5-star reviews over on wherever you get your podcast. Because again, this is your show. It's our show collectively.
And let me say this, John.
That's what's been so fun about this kind of ride here.
And, you deserve a lot of credit because I haven't been here the whole time.
I deserve no credit.
No, you've been here since day one. You helped push this. And in turn, for many different reasons, you're one of the reasons that I have a full-time job in the industry, not just because of obviously our friendship and what you've done for me, but you started this up. You pushed the baseball agenda even higher here at Fantasy Pros. And then I like to think that I got to, join in and help make it better. And I've been here for more than half of the growth. And it is amazing. And you guys should know the care that Fantasy Pros puts into wanting baseball to be more and more. And we get to be part of that because all these awesome people.
Our buddy Joe Arico's joining the Fantasy Pros team. That's very exciting. So if you love baseball, you know, a couple of years ago, I said there's an opening in this space for baseball and people who love it and want something that's smart and stupid. And if there's anything that's smart and stupid, it's me and the Welsh. And we appreciate all of you being with us for both those. And make sure you tune in on Friday, because Friday is going to be a good time. Speaking of Dumb and Dumber, we're good on opening day. You ain't seen nothing yet, folks.
Nope. It's going to be amazing. Join with us Friday. It's going to be the best. 20K celebration with all you guys. But we got to go. That's it.
All right. Bye-bye. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Peace. 20K.
Bye, Oakland.